So thanks for tuning in for another session. Last time you guys tuned in for my 3-week sesh is what I like to call it. And I guess kind of introduce you to what life was like in training, the training portion of my trucking career. I'd like to title this whole vlog Trucking Through, end quote. Trucking Through, yeah. So, on this session of my blog, I'm going to talk about the 5 weeks over the road. Quite an experience. So, the 5 weeks over the road with a trainer, it's totally depending on your trainer. Your trainer could be the coolest guy you've ever met, or he could be like hell on earth. I think I kind of met in the middle. Mine wasn't like the coolest guy ever. I actually had 2 trainers, but they weren't really like the coolest people ever, but they weren't like, oh my god, I'm about to die, like living with this guy like in a truck for 24 hours a day. Anyways, so my first trainer, a black dude from New York, with the accent and all that good old stuff. Not the coolest. We were cool. We talked, we chatted it up, BS, whatever. But at the same time, there were just things about him that I was not a fan of, not fond of it at all. Like I said, this is uncut, uncensored, unedited. So I'm just going to tell you how I feel and tell you what really happened on this training portion. So, guard your ears if this offends you or whatever. But throughout my time with this trainer, I had 2 trainers. The first trainer was for 3 weeks. He'd look at pornography on his phone. Sometimes when he was driving, sometimes when I was driving and he was in the passenger seat, and sometimes he would, when I'm driving, he'd be in the sleeper berth and hook it up to the TV and like blare it. It was awful. Like I'd be driving and be listening to it like as loud as my ears could hear, even with the radio on. Like I tried to drown it out and it still didn't work. So, just so annoying. Just a really annoying habit that he had. He was just a dirty old man. Gross. So I guess the pet peeve I had with him. I was cool with him, a cool guy to hang out with, but like, come on, man. Like, grow up. You're like 50 years old. Stop. Really? Like, be respectful. So that was just a pet peeve. Second, I'm going to tell you a story that happened on the road. Before I do that, I'm just going to kind of give you a picture of life on the road with a trainer. He pretty much tells you what to do, kind of the first week. He tells you how to like do the paperwork for like your receiver, the paperwork to turn in so you get paid, transflow all your stuff. Just kind of guides you through everything, through backing into the docks, backing at a truck stop, just kind of the, stuff that you learn as a trucker, you learn from your trainer. So did all that the first week, whatever. Everything went okay. I couldn't back for crap. I was terrible. I needed a lot of work. And so a lot of the times he'd just get frustrated, kick me out of the seat and back it up, himself. And I got really frustrated because I couldn't learn and experience backing if I wasn't doing it. If I was just watching him do it every time, I've got to make mistakes. I've got to learn from my mistakes and then, go from there. But he wouldn't even let me do that. Like, he'd let me back for like 2 seconds. If I messed up, see ya, out of the seat. So whatever. So that was an experience. Didn't really get to back a lot those first 3 weeks. But so my second week, that's a good story. My second week, I I've been on the road for 150 miles or so. I was driving, and my trainer was in the passenger seat, and so I felt this like pain, like kind of gaseous pain in my stomach, like like you had gas or whatever, just kind of those cramps that you get when you have bad gas. And so, at first I just blew it off, like, whatever, it's just gas, like, it'll go away. And so, went on, another 20 miles or so. Man, it was getting worse. Like, I was like, this is really uncomfortable. Like, I was trying not to focus on it, like, it'll go away. I keep driving another 20 miles or whatever, and it's becoming unbearable. Like, this gas is killing me. And just a terrible pain. Like, I'm about to have diarrhea in my pants, like, just all combined, like, pain, diarrhea, gas, it was terrible. And so, I'm still thinking, like, man, I can do this, like, it'll go away, I can do this. So, I'm not going to be a little weenie about it, and, like, tell my trainer, like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom, like, no, like, that's stupid, I'm not going to do that. So, I put it off for maybe another 20 miles. And I cannot bear to keep going. I have to go to the bathroom, or I'm going to diarrhea in my pants, all over his seat, all in my pants. I've got to throw away my pants. Just a terrible outcome that this is going to have if I don't go to the bathroom. So I'm straight up with my trainer. I'm like, hey, bro, like, I got to go to the bathroom. I'm about to have diarrhea in my pants. And he looks at me, like, with this concerned look, like he didn't know if I was serious, or, I don't know. So he looks at me, for a second, and he's like, all right, dude, yeah, we'll stop at the next exit, but you better not diarrhea on my seat. And I was like, all right, dude, well, I'm going to try, but we got to go to we got to exit now. So he's like, yeah, man, like, we'll go to the next exit, whatever. So, we're on our way to the next exit, and it's just like, oh my God, like, it's coming out. I'm about to diarrhea all over his seat. And so I'm asking him, like, hey, dude, like, can we just stop? Like, we got to stop now, or I'm going to diarrhea on your seat. It's like, no, dude, just hold it. Like, okay, go to the next exit. And so I hold it, till that exit. We finally stop at the exit, at the gas station. And I'm like, oh God, like, it's even, it's even worse, like, when you're anticipating the bathroom. You can see the bathroom, like, it's like 50 feet away. Can you make it? And so I jump out of the, this is probably a bad idea. I, like, jump out of the truck. I don't even step down the little, steps that go up to the door. I jump out, and right when I hit the ground, like, some comes out, and I'm like, dang it. So I'm waddling, just like waddling back and forth to the entrance of this gas station, and there's like 5 people outside the gas station just like staring at me like, what is this kid doing? And so I finally make it to the bathroom, and I explode, just all over the seat, all over my pants. Like, I couldn't hold it. It was unbearable. Like, I couldn't do it. So, it was awful. Terrible, terrible experience. Like, I don't know if it's the trucker food, whatever else. Just a bad experience altogether. So there's a little story of diarrhea on the road. So, yeah, that first trainer, those 3 weeks, it wasn't too bad. He wouldn't let me back, and he looked at porn too much, but, it wasn't terrible. So then I got switch trainers because he went to the Dominican Republic for vacation or something. I got another trainer. He was from New York too, but he was white, and he was, straight up New Yorkan, like, accent. Like, he was a, like, detective in New York City, whatever else. And he was cool, nothing, he pissed in bottles a lot. Like, while I'm sleeping, I could hear him piss, and it was disgusting. I could smell it, like, coming into my nose. It was awful. And so, besides that, though, cool guy. We got along. Like, he let me back a lot, so I finally got some experience backing in the docks and truck stops and whatever else. So that was good. Yeah, and then my 5 weeks were up, and it was back to Dallas. I took a freaking bus from Pennsylvania all the way down to Georgia, and then from Georgia all the way to Texas, like, straight up, like, no breaks. Like, I just bam, 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 got on like 8 different buses all the way to Texas. It was worst bus ride ever because I wanted to be home so bad, you know, and get this over with. So that was my 5 weeks, you know, just backing into docs, doing paperwork. I had some downtime. Went to New York City. That was pretty sick. And I actually got to see New York City, you know, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Queens, and then got to go to like you know, downtown or whatever. Anyways, that was cool. It's probably one of the only cool things I got to do on the road. The rest was just boring, monotonous crap that you had to deal with. But yeah, so life on the road, 5 weeks with a trainer. Could have been better, but you know, I learned a lot. You know, just kind of went with the swing of things. So I guess that concludes the, you know, is this number 3? Yeah, this will be, blog number 3. So, thanks for tuning in. Life on the road with Sam. You know, it's crazy, but not really at all. So next time, I guess we'll talk about kind of the We'll talk about the 3 weeks with 2 students that go out for 3 weeks over the road. We'll talk about that, you know, just the whole deal. So tune in next time for Trucking Through, is what I like to call it, what I like to say. Thanks for listening. This is Sam Mickler tuning out of Trucking Through. Thanks, guys.